Today is the first day of the rest of your life. Open your mind and let go of the fears of midlife and aging. Some people see midlife as a time of stress and overwhelm, but we're not going to do that. We see midlife as an opportunity for continued learning and growth. Life's a journey, not a destination. It's a continual process and can get better all the time. And the best part, you can write your own rules. So in each Midlife Magic episode, we're going to have conversations with interesting and cool people that will give you the inspiration and know-how on how to live your best life. Are you ready? Let's go. Well, hey everyone, welcome to another special episode of the Therapy Show with Lisa Mustard. This is part of my Midlife Magic series, and I'm really excited about, but I say I'm excited about all my guests, but I really am excited about my guest this week. Her name is Amee Livingston, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about Amee shortly, but I kind of wanted to give an update on what was going on. What we've been doing recently. I took a couple weeks off from podcasting, which I'm realizing is probably a really good thing for me to do every couple of months, just to kind of back away and let my creativity flow again and get a new, fresh perspective on things. And we went on a family trip out to Colorado and Utah, and I had never, well, let me take that back. I had been to Denver, but I had never been to the parts of Colorado that we went to. We spent time in Gunnison, which seriously, I could live there. We camped. We went to Crested Butte. We checked out Telluride. And then from there, we went over to Utah and went to Arches and Canyonlands and Dead Horse Point State Park. And then we went over to Goblin Valley State Park and just saw some incredible, I just couldn't get over Utah. Like, it blew me away. And if you are looking for a really unique and awesome experience to see the stars, then you've got to go to Goblin Valley State Park and camp. And it's just, we saw the Milky Way. Like, I don't think you can see the Milky Way here in South Carolina. I was just blown away. We had such an amazing time. We got back about a week and a half ago. School is about to start here back up for our girls pretty soon. It's going to be a virtual experience this year. Unsure if they're going to start with our district or if they are going to do a virtual charter school. We are actually on a wait list for a virtual charter school for the year. So yeah, that's going to be new for us. Another exciting thing that I got some clarity on while I was on vacation was life coaching. As you guys know, I am a licensed marriage and family therapist in South Carolina. And while I love that work, I'm only licensed to work with folks in South Carolina. So I have been having people reach out and asking me if I work with them, and they live in different states, they live in different countries. So I decided while we were on our vacation that, you know what, I am going to start a side life coaching practice. If you want to learn more about my life coaching practice, I will put the link in the comment to schedule a free 25-minute consultation call with me to see if I'm a fit for you. I'm going to be honest with y'all, I'm probably best suited for women 30, 40, 50 who are looking to live their best lives. I know that's like really vague. Almost sounds a little trite, right? You probably see that like splashed all over the internet. I help women live their best lives. But the way I do that is I have a framework for life coaching, and I truly believe, and I say this a lot on interviews when I'm doing other podcasts, that for us to live our best lives, we have to get super clear on our values and priorities. And I have a framework for helping people get clarity, mainly women, on values and priorities. Because what I find is that we say we value or prioritize one thing, but then life happens and we get pulled away from that vision or those values or priorities, and we start kind of living incongruently. So I'm all about helping women get back to authenticity, get back to living congruently, and just like putting those blinders on and getting to work on how they want to live their life moving forward, because we only get one of these amazing lives, right? And so I don't know, you guys know about this, but a couple years ago, probably 7 years ago, I worked with a life coach, and it's all about what you're ready for at the time. And I was ready for somebody to help me get clear and move forward. I've been to many therapists, and while they're amazing and they're great, so many therapists work with what you've experienced in the past and help you process to kind of, be more present, be more functional, healthier, help you lift symptoms. I guess that's how I'm trying to phrase it. Whereas a life coach goes, yeah, okay, you've been through that stuff. If you need help with that, I hope you're getting therapy. But the work we're going to do moving forward is making a plan, helping you move through limiting beliefs, help you overcome obstacles and challenges, and talking about possibilities and solutions. And y'all, that is where I like to hang out. So if I sound like somebody you might want to work with, look for the link in the show notes and let's set up that free 25-minute consultation and see if I'm a fit. I also do some other things, personal branding, strategy, coaching, helping you kind of up your visibility on social media. That's something I offer as well. You can check that out on my website. Okay, so let's talk about this week's guest, Amee Livingston. She's a personal trainer and cancer exercise specialist. She loves working with women. She's a food blogger and a recipe developer. And that's how I found her initially, was because of her amazing Instagram food pics and recipes. But in 2016, Amee was diagnosed with breast cancer at 42 years old. And in this episode, she's going to share her story from treatment to remission, plus how she shifted her mindset, workouts, and her nutrition to accommodate her recovery. She talks about how she began looking for cracks in her routine, how she reduced her stress level, how she let go of being so religious with macro counting and started to trust her body more to tell her what she needed. Other things we talk about, advice for 20-somethings, like living in the moment, her favorite midlife product that has cleared her skin, which is not something you actually put on your skin. You'll be surprised maybe. And she's going to share her most popular recipes that I think you're going to love. So everybody, I hope you're ready to hear from Amee. Let's jump into this episode. Welcome, Amee, to the show. I'm really excited to talk with you today. You and I connected initially on Instagram, I think. Is that right?
We did.
Yeah.
We did. You actually won a contest that I did. It was the recipe contest.
Oh, that's
was
right.
That our first introduction? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. We found each other on Instagram, and I just couldn't stop looking at the food that you create, and was drawn to the food first, but then really was drawn to you and your story. I would love to learn more about you and, who you are, what you do, who you help. So could you go into that just a little bit for us?
Sure. Professionally, I'm a personal trainer. I actually work now at a comprehensive wellness clinic in Charlotte, North Carolina. We are a whole health wellness facility. So we have a physical therapy side, we have a side of our clinic that's personal training, and then we also have registered dietitian on our staff and massage therapy. So it's a really cool business model. I work there part-time. I am actually a cancer exercise specialist. I also do general fitness for women. So I wear a few hats. So I kind of have that specialty, but I do all types of fitness. I also have a pre and postnatal certification. But I love working with women, helping women get comfortable lifting weights and strength training. I also run a food blog. I've been doing that for 10 years. So that's been another fun side job that I do. A lot of recipe development, work with different brands and things like that. So
that's really cool. So how did you find the combination of these passions and skills? Like, how did it all come together for you?
Well, I've always been physically active. I did cheer in high school, in college, did a lot of group fitness, running. In my 20s, I was into a lot of running and group fitness. And then in my late 30s, I found CrossFit and was just, like they say, I drank the Kool-Aid. I was one of those avid CrossFitters. I loved it. And then I started coaching. And then from CrossFit coaching, I got my CPT and started doing one-on-one personal training. So that started in 2012-ish, 2012, 13 with the fitness side. And then as far as the food, for a long time, I was a stay-at-home mom because I have two children, I'm a mom. So my son's in college and my daughter's in high school. And when they were getting a little bit older in school, I was just bored. I thought, try something fun. Blogs were just starting to be a thing back in 2010. So I started blogging as a hobby, and then it kind of evolved into this really cool job. So it just two passions that I was able to develop into a business, which is really cool.
Yeah, that is really cool. I'm just so taken by folks that are bloggers and have made it into a business. I just find that really fascinating. I think that's really, really cool. So I know that you briefly shared a little bit about your story with cancer. Would you tell our listeners today kind of go back to that time in your life and share what happened?
Sure. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2016. I had gone in for a routine mammogram. I was 42.
Mhm.
Currently, I'll be 47 in August. You and I are the same age.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, just went in for a routine checkup, and I had fibrocystic breast. So, you know, pretty common. I drink a lot of coffee, that can cause it. It's very much genetic.
Mhm.
So I had biopsies in the past, didn't really think much of it. But on that mammogram, they called me back and said, "We found some spots on your imaging. We need you to come in for a biopsy." Okay. Honestly, didn't really think much of it because I had done that drill before. But I went in for a biopsy, actually went in for a second ultrasound or mammogram. And then they said, "Yeah, I think we want to do a biopsy. That just doesn't look right."
Mhm.
So went in, had that done, and then they called me, and it's actually my doctor called me and said, "Well, I have good news and bad news. What do you want first?" I was like, "Just hit me up with the bad news first." And he said, "Well, you have cancer, but the good news is we caught it early. You're actually considered stage 0, so it was still within the ducts. So that was good. But
Mm.
I was grade 3, which was the most aggressive form of breast cancer. So yeah, that was quite a shock. It totally rocked my world because at the time I was very, very fit.
Yeah.
Working out 5 days a week, sometimes training twice a day. I was very religious with my nutrition, in the best physical shape of my life, and then hit with a cancer diagnosis. So, yeah, that is my about as far as that cancer journey.
Yeah. So what was the treatment? What did you do? Or what did they
So,
prescribe?
sure, I was actually initially given a choice of a lumpectomy with radiation and then 5 years of a hormone blocking medication. Or I could go with a mastectomy and then have no further treatment if my lymph nodes were clear. And
Mm.
so I honestly didn't think a whole lot about it because I'd had a dear friend from college that went through breast cancer in her 30s. She was diagnosed young with stage 2.
Mhm.
And I saw the impact of radiation and the hormone therapy on her body and just, things that she dealt with from that. And I said, "You know what? I just want to just take them off.
Right.
Let's just do the surgery." Reconstructions come a long way. Actually, I like to encourage women to really look into that because plastic surgery, there's just some great techniques that they can do to preserve that and
Mhm.
cosmetically. So, yeah, I decided to do the double mastectomy. And then thankfully, my nodes were clear. And so I did not have to do any further treatment. I've had several reconstructive surgeries, but yeah, that was a blessing.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
completely. Moving forward after you came out of making the decision and kind of getting moving with your treatment and your procedures, how did life change for you?
well, honestly, being diagnosed with cancer, being a trainer, and just I have a certification in nutrition with precision nutrition. So I would kind of counsel people on, improving their eating habits. I thought I knew everything about health, and here I am dealing with cancer. So it was just like, it's very devastating because it really like shook my world.
Mhm.
So I started looking into the cracks, like what could be some cracks in my routine. Like obviously it's a genetic issue and sometimes we're just predisposed to this, or it's environmental and we don't really have a lot of control over it. But is there something I can improve in my own routine that, can help me
Mhm.
stay healthy and
Yeah.
prevent any recurrence? So a couple of things I just started focusing on was just doing a lot more recovery, doing things like yoga, some meditation. I'm not one to do like, the meditation where, the
Yeah. Right.
traditional, everyone thinks of traditional meditation. I like walking meditation. So I'll put in some relaxing music and go for a walk. And so I started doing more restorative movement
Mm.
and less like high intensity movement. I thought, maybe I could dial it back. Maybe I was just destroying my body, wearing it out with, being too strict on my nutrition program, too much exercise. As you know, it can be a stressor on the body if you overdo.
Yeah.
So stress was another place I started looking at, like, am I doing too much? Should I dial it back? Am I taking enough time for me? So that was one area that I put a lot of focus in, is just reducing stress in life.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's wise. And I'm trying to imagine being in your shoes. Like, you do all the right things, you eat all the right foods, you get all the greens, you get the exercise in, you do all the right things to take care of your body physically, and then something like this happens. It's kind of, it messes with it, it would mess with me, like, whoa, hold up, I'm doing all these right things. But I find it interesting that one of the cracks that you were looking at was, correct me if I'm wrong, it kind of sounds like you said recovery, but like stress, like just kind of bringing down, the
Yep.
stress and taking it easier. And yeah, okay. Is it okay if I ask you how it impacted your relationships, like your marriage or with your kids?
Sure. Yeah. Initially, my son took it all really well. He dealt with it just fine. My daughter, she was quite shaken when I was diagnosed. First came the tears, and
Mm.
then, she was worried. But, they've all been very supportive. My husband has been so supportive. I feel very blessed because, he was my rock
Yeah.
during all of my treatment. And when I had drains in my side, he would drain them for me. He was just great to take care of me. They've been very supportive.
Yeah, yeah. No, thank you for sharing that. And yeah, tell us about your Olympic weightlifting. That sounds really interesting.
Sure. So after I was diagnosed with cancer, when I was starting to get back into fitness, I didn't want to go back to CrossFit because I knew a lot of that would be way too hard on my body. So it was kind of like starting over from scratch. And I had a friend that started a barbell club near where we lived. And so Olympic weightlifting was always kind of the weak link in my CrossFit skills. So I started at the barbell club and just started doing Olympic weightlifting only. And I have stuck with that for the last 4 years. Since 2016, I've been doing Olympic weightlifting and occasionally competing as a master's athlete. And my husband does it too. We have a great time training together.
Oh,
So I
cool.
currently work with a coach, and yeah,
That's really
and
cool, man.
yeah,
That's really something else. Something that I've thought about getting into as well. I think that would be really fun. Really, really fun. That's cool.
it's it's a great workout. And you do 2 lifts. I mean, we do a lot of other accessory work, but, yeah, it's a lot of fun. And the community with Olympic weightlifting is very supportive. It's a great community, and, yeah, just have something to work towards and
Yeah. Very cool. Man, that's
keep
awesome.
keep keeps us in shape. And for women over 40, or actually everyone, but as you get older, as you were a trainer, we lose muscle mass as we age. So strength training is so, so important. If I was going to tell someone, if you had to pick one thing, what would you focus on? I'd definitely say strength training would be the best thing to focus on if you could only pick one thing, because maintaining that muscle mass and even building muscle mass as you age is the best thing you can do for your functional capabilities as we get older.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well, I'm so glad you brought that up because I've been preaching that for a long time. So it's really nice to have an ally preach it as
yes,
well. So thank you.
yes,
All
and
right.
it won't make you bulky.
Yeah.
I promise, unless you're doing steroids or you some really genetically blessed individual, which
Right.
I'm jealous if you are. It's very hard to do that. So
It is. Yeah.
yeah,
I call it the fountain of youth. I don't know if I've been saying that for a while. Like, I feel like strength training is just the fountain of youth. And I'm so glad I found it. I'm so glad that I love it, because I know a lot of people don't love it. But I guess whenever I hear people say they hate it or they don't love it, I feel like they don't give it enough. They go and they do it and they're sore, and then they go, well, that stinks. I don't want to keep
right,
doing it if it hurts. I'm like, no, that's just like in the beginning because it's your body
right.
responding to, overload. But I think when you're in the right environment with the right people and the right community, and you've got good instruction, it's so empowering. I just love it. Absolutely love
It
it.
is.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, tell me a little bit about you said that you aren't as religious with your macros. Let's talk about that, because I would love to hear more about how that shifted for you, because I think that's really cool and important also.
Yeah, yeah. I was very, very focused on clean eating for so long. And I do think that whole food intake is super important for our health, getting all those micronutrients. But I guess you could say I was sort of orthorexic with my eating for a long time, just was kind of terrified of not eating clean and just eating too much, desserts and the treats, and, stayed away from a lot of that. And for a long time, I tracked my macros and logged everything I ate. And it just kind of takes over your life.
does.
And I've had the abs to go with it, and it's really kind of overrated because if you can't enjoy life, I I just decided, and two, like I felt like I was in the best shape of my life. I'd been very religious with my eating, and that's when I was diagnosed. And I thought, what am I doing to my body? I don't know, just too much stress. You can't judge a book by its cover because I looked super healthy, and I had aggressive cancer growing in my body. So I really shifted that to not letting my eating take up so much mental space and stressing me about, what's on my plate. So I focused on, having vegetables on my plate at every meal and getting in lean proteins at each meal, but just kind of being okay with having a treat now and then. And I've really, really developed a much healthier outlook on my eating and a better relationship with food over the years, over the last 4 years. So that's been great. Because I do Olympic weightlifting, sometimes for a competition, we're more competitive if we do a lower weight class. So, I might cut back a little bit and track for a competition, but that's it. I don't live like that anymore. I don't live by a food journal, and I don't put everything in my fitness pal, and it just becomes all consuming.
Yeah.
I don't know about you if you kind of lived that for a while too, but it can kind of take over your life.
No, I hear you, sister. I have a love-hate relationship with it as well. And I finally, similar to you, just was like, I don't want to live and die by this thing anymore. I want to go out. I want to be able to order off a menu. I want to be able to enjoy a drink or a dessert and not, have those guilty feelings or feel like, it does. It feels like it takes over. Yeah, I struggled with that for a little bit, and similar to you, like every meal, veggies. I love my veggies, and
Yes.
I love vegetables. I don't love all of them, but work really, but I love my carbs and love my fats, and I just love food, and I want to be able to eat and enjoy. I think the one thing that I definitely stay away from as much as possible is processed foods.
Yes.
Just try really hard not to indulge in those or have them be a staple in my nutrition. And I think too, I don't know what you think about this, but as we age, it starts to show up on your body differently. I'm not saying it shows up on my body in the terms of like fat. My skin just responds to it, the processed foods and the chemicals. It's like it shows up in my body and you can't hide it like you could when you were 27. So I like eating what I eat because I feel good. And I know that it's part of my formula for feeling really good in my late 40s. So yeah, I totally get it. So I want to ask you about your recipes. I saw your protein donut one that you posted yesterday. What's your most popular recipe?
Oh, so right now, one of my most popular ones is it's it's called amazing broccoli, but it's frozen broccoli that you roast and it tastes delicious. So it's a post on how to take frozen, boring broccoli and make it taste delicious. So that post has done really well. Gosh, and it's so funny. One of my most popular recipes are these fruit kebabs. They're Grinch fruit kebabs. So it's a strawberry with a marshmallow. It's like looks like a Grinch on a stick. And they went viral. They went crazy. So that's another one that just cracks me up. People seem to get excited about are those holiday fruit kebabs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have so many. I do a lot of meal prep recipes. A lot of my casseroles do really well. I have a Mexican chicken casserole that's very popular. Beef brisket recipe on a big green egg. That one's done really well for the summertime. Yeah.
Man, I love this. This is so cool. Well, we'll have to talk offline about how these recipes came about. Well, I'm super curious. I don't know. You have to come back. We'll just have you back to do something on healthy eating and cooking and something. So, and definitely link those popular recipes into the show notes. So this episode of the Midlife Magic Podcast is sponsored by my favorite fitness apparel, Zaya Active. I discovered Zaya Active when I went looking for high quality and premium workout clothes, just like those luxury store and catalog brands, yet I wanted a budget-friendlier price tag. I love this brand because I live a very active lifestyle. I work out about 5 days a week, plus I love to go for runs and long walks, which I consider to be my very important self-care and podcast listening time. The clothes stay put, I'm not constantly pulling on my leggings or tugging on my sports bras, and they accentuate me in all the right places. And when I work from home, they are the perfect clothes for being comfortable and still stylish. And I can transition to running out the door to pick up our girls or run errands while still looking put together in my athleisure styles. My favorite workout leggings are the Lighten Tights, and my favorite everyday wear are the Everywhere pants. Yes, I literally wear them everywhere, every day. I can even wear them to business meetings or client consultations, and I can dress them up or down easily. Want to learn more? Head over to lisamustard.com and click on the Activewear page. You can learn all about Zaya Active, the mission, the clothes, and see if they are a fit for you and your active life. From weight training to running to Zumba to yoga to CrossFit to bar to walking to tennis, Zaya Active has you covered. And don't forget about the active men in your life. They have an amazing men's line, plus clothes for active kids too. That's Zaya like papaya active. So see my site for all the details. That's lisamustard.com/active-wear. So when you look back, over the past 4 or 5 years and where you are today, what shifts have you made in terms of your mindset when it comes to, exercise and nutrition now that you are coming up on 47? Because I just hit it. And let me tell you, it's good. Everything's okay. You'll be fine. But what's shifted for you?
So, in 20s and 30s, when you get over into your 40s, you realize that recovery is not optional. It's essential.
Right.
And you just have to make sure you make time for stretching and mobility and, all that comes with the training is important, but the recovery is just as, if not more important on your body and how you feel your body, and just make sure you're getting in the right things. Yeah, I'd say for me, before I was just go, go, go. I just wanted to see how hard I could work and how much I could accomplish physically, with my workouts. And I have definitely changed that approach. I definitely still have a great work ethic in the gym. I definitely work hard and I like to see results, but I approach it a little differently. I guess before I really didn't think about how much physical stress and mental stress compounds and how hard that is on the body. So I'm very mindful of that. If I'm having like a stressful situation at home or with work, then I might dial it back and do a little something different for my fitness routine that day. Like, let's just do some strength work and not hit the HIIT workout, So I listen to my body a lot more now than I did in my early years. I think I would kind of hit the mute button on my my signals, like, no, you're good, keep going. Now I don't do that. I've definitely gotten better about being a good listener to my own body and reading cues. And yeah, you got to dial it back when your body's telling you to slow down.
Yeah,
for sure.
For sure. I don't know about you, but this whole COVID-19 has had me have to dial back a lot of things. And I know my kids are younger than yours, so I'm doing a lot of driving them around, prior to COVID-19, going to work, just my day, taking my kids, doing stuff, sitting in the car, waiting, going to the grocery store, making dinner. I felt those are all normal things, but kind of having that get stopped when this pandemic hit. I don't know about you, but man, my stress level went down so much that my body was almost like could feel it. Like it felt different. It was so wild. And, we always say you got to listen to your body, but I didn't really quite know what that meant because I was similar to you. Like, let me go, let me push, I'm listening to my body, and my body's saying, you can go harder. But
Right.
in your 30s, sure, maybe. Things just kind of shifted, completely with kids, having kids, and stressors shift. And then this pandemic, I don't know. It's just all of a sudden I feel a lot less stressed. Are you noticing that on some level too?
So I guess we've had a lot more time to, as a family, sit down,
Mhm.
relax, watch TV, maybe watch some movies. We've had a lot more family time, which I love. Actually, this COVID, this whole pandemic thing for our family's been really stressful
Is it?
because my husband lost his job right
Oh,
before Christmas. By no fault of his company decided to sell off his division of the corporation that he worked for. And pretty much everybody was let go from that division of the company. So this happened right before Christmas. And we kind of thought, oh, it'll be fine. He's always, had a great job and it'll be no problem getting another job. Will come March. And then we had all this, what happened with COVID. And then I couldn't work in the gym. I'm still out of work. So the fact that he's out of work and it's been hard getting interviews and getting jobs,
oh wow.
and then I'm not working. So that's been really stressful.
Sure.
We've had a lot of emotional stress during this COVID pandemic. So I'd say we've slowed down as far as like our day to day activity. But yeah, the
Oh,
emotional impact of all this and the roller coaster. I don't know about you, but
yeah.
it's just feels like a roller coaster. It's like you're up some days, you're down other days. You're like, oh, is this ever going to end? There's just so much uncertainty. And, I really haven't talked much publicly about our personal situation because there's so many people dealing with the exact same thing. I know there's a lot of people out of work and, a lot of people having a hard time, just
Sure.
wondering if this keeps going,
Right.
what
Right.
what's that going to look like? So it's for us, it's actually been pretty stressful, but not as much going on.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Man. Oh, I didn't realize that. Well, I'll keep him in my thoughts and prayers and hope for the best. I really,
thank you.
really hope that that turns around for you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah. So being that you're almost 47,
Yes. Almost.
almost, let's talk a little bit about midlife and what are some of the lessons or some of the behaviors? I know we talked a little bit about mindset, but what about like behaviors or lessons? What have you other things that you have shifted in your midlife?
Well, I'd say definitely slowing down. I am much better about living in the moment now than I used to be, being more comfortable in my own skin. I kind of like that in my 40s. I feel more secure with who I am.
Mhm.
Yeah, and just I don't know, it's kind of a good season of life. Our kids, and I know you have younger kids, but
Mhm.
our kids are pretty much young adults now, and I enjoy our conversations. I like the family dynamic now. I mean, sometimes I miss having little ones, but it's a fun phase of life with them, with my son in college and my daughter's 16. She's busy, she's driving, so I'm not a chauffeur
Yeah.
anymore.
Right.
So this season of life, there's a lot more quality time for my husband and I to have together. And, we just, I like our family dynamic. This is just a good time. In 2 years, we're going to be empty nesters. So
Wow.
I don't even know what to do with that, but,
Yeah. Well,
but
we'll have you back on in 2 years and we can talk more about that. We can
sure.
talk about empty nest and what that's been like, the adjustment to that.
Right.
So, if you could give your 27-year-old self some advice, what would you tell her?
Oh, I would tell her for sure to slow down and to live in the moment. At that phase of life, I was always just go, go, go.
Mhm.
I hardly ever sat down, just if I didn't have enough busy things to do in my day, I would find busy things to do with my day. So to slow down.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I lived in the moment enough at that age. And I don't know about you, but when my kids were little, so I started having children. I was pregnant with my son at 27. When they were young, I was just always worried about capturing all the moments and one of those crazy moms with cameras following your kids around. And they're like, don't take my picture. But yeah, I just, instead of actually living in the moment, I was just so concerned with like capturing everything. I wish I would have just
Yeah.
slowed down a little bit,
Yeah.
just, lived more in the moment
Yeah.
and not worry so much about what everyone else thinks. I mean, you can't please everyone and to stop trying.
Yeah, that's great advice.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
my 27-year-old self would have liked to have heard that too. So thank you. So anybody, if you're 27 out there and you're listening,
Slow down.
slow it down, slow it down. Okay, so what product or service has impacted your midlife? When you think about stuff that you have bought or used, like what has made a difference for you? It can be anything.
Oh, okay. Well, I have so many, but one in particular I started using this year, and I don't sell this, so
Uh-huh.
I'm not selling anything.
But you might be after this.
Disclosure, maybe. But I have been really into gut health. I like to take this whole like integrative approach to wellness now, especially after cancer. You want to have your fitness, your good nutrition, stress reduction. But I started taking a probiotic called Seed, and it has been life changing for me. I mean, it's just, I can tell a huge difference. My nails are amazing. My skin, I started in my mid 40s, I started having really bad hormonal breakouts, and it's terrible. I'm like, look, it is not fair for us to deal with acne and wrinkles at the same time. Like that is just not, should never happen.
Right.
So,
That's not cool. It's not fair.
no,
I hear you.
It's not. So I had been on spironolactone for a long time for this because it helps with the hormonal breakout.
Uh-huh.
But someone had recommended the Seed probiotic because they were having skin breakouts, and I started taking it. My skin has never been better. My nails are great. My digestion's good. So it's been life changing, really.
Cool. How do you spell that?
It's just Seed, like a little seed, SEED. Yep.
Okay. So you can find it where?
I just looked up their website. I think it's seed.com. Very simple.
Okay. Well, we will link it because I know people are going to want to go check it out. So maybe you should get on the affiliate wagon with that.
I should. I love it. I actually got my mom into it. She's starting to take it now. She has a lot of digestive problems. So I said, you really should try it. If you don't like it, you can always stop taking it.
Well, I think it's really interesting how so much of our, like what shows up on the outside is affected on the inside. So I think gut health is super important. So I'm glad that you brought that up. That's good to know. So we will link it in the show notes for sure. And then if people want to learn more about you or connect with you, how should they do that?
Sure. You can reach me if you're on Instagram. I'm at Amee Savory Dish, and it's AMEE instead of AMY. Mm-hmm. I don't know, you want to put the email in the show notes? It's really long, my email. So
we'll
I'll
put
send
it
you
my
Yeah. So you can email me. You can reach out to me on Instagram. I'm on Facebook at Amee Savory Dish. And then also, actually my business email, if anyone is in the Charlotte area and you want personal training, or if you're looking for another service that our clinic provides, nutrition or massage therapy, you can reach me at amy@fightbackpr.com. So that's a simple one I can say.
We'll put it all in the show notes so folks can reach out. Gosh, this has been so
Absolutely
fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, that's this week's episode of the Midlife Magic Podcast.
Don't forget to join us next time for another episode. Thank you for listening.